The game is finished here. It is Sheffield United 3. The game is finished here. Sheffield United 0, Tottenham 3. And we finished the season with a clean sheet. Second clean sheet of 2024. Spurs have sealed Europa League football back into European football next season for Tottenham Hotspur. And what you got to say is, I think it was an accomplished display by Spurs today. First 10-15 minutes, I thought Sheffield United put us under quite a bit of pressure. Definitely started the better of the two sides, and then we scored against the runner player. Brilliant goal from Kulusevski. And I thought, for more or less, it was pretty much one-way traffic after that goal, especially in the second half. I don't think Sheffield United troubled us at all, really. Yeah, it's a nice ending to the season. I think it was a pretty comfortable victory at the end of the day. I think Spurs definitely deserved it. I think we played really nice football. I think Sheffield United struggled, especially after an early flurry of chances. They really struggled to kind of get in behind Tottenham, which they threatened to in the first half. And I think having Decky up front really helped us. I think having him, clearly he got two strikers finishes, and I think he really showed an ability in this game that maybe we should look in the future about playing him more in this position, because he seems to have the right profile for it. And obviously two really nice strikers finishes as well, with good runs and good finishes. So I think that's a position which I'm really, really excited about what he could do in the future. And I think it's a shame that it's only the last game of the season, really, we've started him in this position. So hopefully we kind of take a look at him in the future. But I thought Tottenham overall very much deserved the victory, and we created more chances than Sheffield United. I thought Pedro Porro as well got on the score sheet, and he was a shining light in the game. And really, really strong performance from Spurs. Yeah, absolutely, and really good goals. The first Kulusevski goal, Porro's goal as well, which I thought he took really well. It was like kind of a carbon copy from his goal at Burnley against Burnley a couple of weeks ago. You just know if you get Porro in those areas, he's got the finishing ability to fire those in there. It was a rocket shot, though, wasn't it? Yeah, right into the roof of the net. Foderingham had absolutely no chance, and to be fair, Foderingham had a really good game. I thought he made a number of really, really big saves throughout the game. So I thought he played really well. But it's a testament to how dominant Spurs were, that Sheffield United's best player was their goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean, look, there's not too much to read into the game today. I think it was nice to see Kulusevski starting the number 9 and get 2 goals as well. Nice to see Dane Scarlett and Mikey Moore come on at the end to get some more minutes under their belt. But I guess the outlook of the season, we finished 5th in the league, European football, Spurs back in European football. When it's all said and done now, I think you can look back at this season and say it was a positive one. Start of a new project, Ange Postecoglou, new football, losing Harry Kane, everything that goes with that. Yes, it wasn't the second half of the season that we all wanted, but I think when you look at the progress been made this season, I think it is positive. Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. We all know it's going to be difficult trying to play a completely different brand of football that we were playing for the past 4 or 5 years. So it was always going to take time. And I think the fact that Andrew's got us into 5th place is easier said than done at the first time of asking, getting us back into Europe. And I thought he deserves a lot of credit for that. Obviously, the way it's fallen apart in the last few weeks is going to be hard to take. And it's going to be something that Ange has to assess as to why that happened, what players are going to be up for the fight next season, and all those determinations are going to be made in the summer. And I think Ange has got a lot of big decisions to make this summer. But I think overall, I think it's a 6-point improvement on last season, 3-place improvement on last season. And we're into Europa League, and as a first step in the process, it's definitely a positive one. And when you look at the teams kind of in the Europa League for next season, me personally, I think it's definitely a competition that we need to take really seriously. And if we do, it's a competition that we can go very far in, if not win it. Yeah, there's no reason why not. I think if you look in the past 12 years or so, I think more often than not, there's a team who's dropped down from the Champions League in the final or even winning it. So the fact that that's no longer a rule definitely increases your chances of winning that competition. And we've got no one to fear. Obviously, look, there are some good teams in there, but we've got to look at that competition thinking there's no reason why we can't be one of the teams going all the way there. Is it still a case, because we all go back to the first 10 games, we always go back to that Chelsea game saying that's when our season fell apart. Do you still think of that game saying maybe a case of what could have been if we didn't get those red cards, if we didn't get those injuries, and we didn't play with basically Emerson and Ben Davies at centre-backs for large parts of the season, or not a large part, but a period of the season where we started dropping consistent points? I mean, maybe it's hard to say that when this period of the season in the latter stage where we've been losing 4 in a row and stuff like that when we've had our full team. But I still look at that being like just thinking what could have been.
I think we definitely would have got top 4. I don't know about anything more than that. But yeah, we would have got top 4, I think, for sure. The fact that we only finished 2 points behind Villa, with all the given all the difficulties we've had and all the injury crises and all the difficult performances and the hard run we've had in the last few weeks, the fact after all that we only finished 2 points behind them, I definitely think if that injury, the timing of those injuries and suspensions, if it didn't happen at that exact time, I think we definitely would have got top 4. But is what it is. If the coefficient went in our favour, would be playing Champions League. It didn't happen that time, so just one we have to take on the chin. I think that probably did cost us Champions League, but I don't think we're ever gonna seriously challenge for anything more than that.
Yeah, you're probably right on that one. In terms of real standout performers in the Premier League this season, I think probably the best ones you can take out of it is Mickey van de Ven, Kuti Romero, Heung-min Son. Apart from those 3, is there any standout performers for you? Maybe Pedro Porro?
Yeah, Porro's had a really good season, I think. Vicario's had a pretty consistent season for most of it, I feel. Obviously, Doggy was nominated for Young Player of the Year. I think there's a lot of really good performances. Obviously, when the second half of the season is fresh in your mind in terms of how we collapsed that last couple of months, it's hard to remember sometimes the good level of performance for a lot of these players throughout the season. I think that's what we got to remember, that it's a new team, young team. There's always going to be inconsistencies. I think the fact that they've got us to a place where we are finishing in 5th place is very, very positive. And I think, yes, we've had a really bad end to the season. The only 2 victories in that run-in were Burnley at home and Sheffield United away. So that's obviously very, very disappointing. But doesn't mean all these players have got to go. Doesn't mean everyone's not good enough, all that kind of stuff. I think there's a lot of tough decisions to make, but it's a really positive first season. And I think a lot of these players can come out of the season with a lot of credit. And just because we faltered doesn't mean all their good work goes out the window. And I think it's important to remember that.
Yeah, so I think it's been a season of progress. It's been a season to look back on saying, this is the start of the process, and hopefully Ange can take us from strength to strength now, back in European football. The aims for next season has got to be to get a trophy under our belt and to consolidate our place in the top 4. That's got to be the aims. And I think we will achieve the top 4 thing, but obviously the trophy thing is, you never know who you're going to come up against. If you play Man City in the FA Cup or Man City in the League Cup, it becomes very difficult. But I do think that we're going to put ourselves in a good position to do that. We've got a big summer ahead of a lot of change. A lot of players are going to go out the door. A lot of players are going to come in. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we'll be covering it for you here each and every day on We Are Tottenham TV of all the rumours, of all the done deals that go in and out the door throughout the summer. So I want to thank you all for joining us today, and also for all your support that you've given us throughout the course of the season. And let us know your thoughts on the season in the comment section below. Are you still looking at this as a positive outlook in the season, even though it did finish, not the Sheffield United game, but the 5-6 games previous to that was kind of finished it on a whimper. And as well, you've got to say that the second half of the season in general hasn't been that good. But I still look at it in a positive way in terms of the way we changed up the philosophy into more of the Spurs DNA. Ange Postecoglou has come in and captured the hearts of the Spurs fans. You've had many players that have stepped up for the cause, I think, throughout the season. So I think when you look at the 2 last games, the Man City game, I know we lost, and this Sheffield United game with Decky in the 9, I think there's a lot of reasons to be positive for next season. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing the business that we do in this transfer window, and hopefully we get it right and it can really galvanise us and spur us on to do something really good next season. So
big summer ahead.
Massive summer ahead. So once again, thank you for all your support throughout the summer. We'll be back very soon for the post-match fan show, where it's your chance to have your say on not just the game, but we'll be speaking on the general outlook of the club, of the season, and looking forward as well. So we'll see you all there. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.